and I am the Director of Certificate and Non-Degree Programs at the College of Liberal and Professional Studies at the University of Pennsylvania. And I have worked with students in the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program for over 11 years, almost 12 years. And so I am so happy that you are joining us this evening to learn more about the program, and I hope that you will find this very informative. So I want to go over the agenda for today's information session. My goal is that by the end of this session that you will know a lot about the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program and determine if this program makes sense for you. One thing that I do want to share is that we will be hosting a Q&A session at the end of this information session. And this meeting is a Zoom webinar, and you can enter the questions that you have into the Q&A, which you'll find in the center right of your screen. We invite you to submit any questions that you have, and we'll make sure to answer all of them. All right, so what are you going to learn this evening? The first thing is, what is the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program? Next is, what is it like to be a student in the program? How do students benefit from the program? And then lastly, how do I apply to the program? One small agenda item I do want to mention before we get started. Occasionally, we do have some confusion with prospective students about the pre-health program versus our general post-bac program. So I want to make sure to tell you a little bit about the pre-health post-baccalaureate programs at Penn, just in case you accidentally came to this information session hoping to learn about the pre-health program. So the pre-health program is a post-baccalaureate program that offers two different certificates: a core studies certificate for students without a science background, and a specialized studies certificate for students with a science background that are looking to enhance their credentials before applying to medical, dental, or veterinary school. It's a program with very clear guidelines on the classes that you'll take. To earn your certificate, you need to take 8 to 15 classes. And students in the program get pre-med advising, MCAT prep, there's clubs and organizations, lots of bells and whistles for a pre-med student. Alternatively, the program that we're talking about today is the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program, or the general post-bac program. And this program is fully customizable. We aren't going to tell you how many classes that you have to take in the program. And our student body is primarily pre-graduate school students. So if after that description you realize, oh, I'm actually interested in the pre-health program and not the post-baccalaureate studies program, that is quite all right. I am going to place a link in the chat to an information session that they recently hosted, the pre-health program, so you can learn more about that program. So just wanted to mention that. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program. This program is a collection of over 200 gifted students who already have at least a bachelor's degree, who are interested in taking primarily undergraduate level classes at Penn. These students are recent college graduates. They can be full-time working professionals. They may already have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, MD. All of those things would qualify a student to apply to the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program. And similar to what you saw in the chat, we do have a lot of Philadelphia area professionals that enroll in the post-bac program, but we admit students from all over the world into this program. And there are, of course, students that very recently got, let's say, a bachelor's degree, but we also have people with PhDs or retirees that are, older students. All are welcome in this program. So I want to talk a little bit about how students use the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program. There's three main ways that students use the program. And the number one reason that I would say that I mentioned earlier is preparing for graduate school. And so I want to talk through that. Let's say, for instance, your undergraduate major was history, but you have a passion for neuroscience and a dream of entering a PhD in neuroscience. As you can imagine, your current experience probably certainly doesn't qualify you for that PhD program. But by taking a number of classes at Penn and gaining research experience here, you can qualify to apply to a PhD neuroscience program. Alternatively, you may have majored in neuroscience and you're interested in a PhD in neuroscience, but you need to take 1 or 2 classes, gain a little bit more research experience. I would say these are sort of the most common reasons why people apply to the program. The next reason is career advancement. We have a lot of students that come in that want to take a writing course, that want to take a data analytics course, they want to take a design course, and they want to use that class to help them in their current profession or to shift to a new profession. Another great reason to apply. And then lastly is personal enrichment. We have students that are maybe taking a creative writing class or a language class as something that they just personally always wanted to do. That is another great reason to apply to our program. So I want to talk about the classes that you can take in this program. And so our real sort of rules as a program is that students can take classes at the 5999 level or below. And that includes all of the undergraduate classes and even some occasional graduate classes at the 4,000 or 5,000 level. And often people are confused about, which schools can they take classes in. So the University of Pennsylvania has 12 schools, and students in this program are taking classes in, I think, 10 or 11 of those schools. So you really do have broad access to classes at the university. Now, I won't say that that means that it's completely unrestricted. Of course, there are some classes that have, rules that prioritize students in certain programs. But I would say for the most part, students are able to take a large number of classes at Penn. I put into our chat the course catalog where you can view actually the spring offerings that's available now at Penn. And a great thing that I recommend is if you're not sure if you're going to be able to take the classes that you want to take at Penn, you can email us the course numbers of the classes that you're interested in, and we can get back to you and let you know how realistic we think it is that you can accomplish those goals while you're here at Penn. So most of the students in the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program are studying part-time while working, but we do have plenty of students that are studying full-time. The university offers most of its classes during the day, but the College of Liberal and Professional Studies does offer a number of courses in the evening. And we'll talk a little bit later about Penn LPS online classes that you would also have access to. And those classes are primarily asynchronous, which means no required live meeting. Or if there is a live meeting, it's in the evening East Coast time. So a lot of variety of options in terms of timing. In terms of what you have access to as a student, as soon as you receive your offer of admission and accept it into the program, you receive a welcome email from your academic advisor inviting you for your first academic advising appointment, which can be done in person or via Zoom. We have new student orientation where you meet other students with similar interests and learn all the ins and outs of the program. We have a Facebook group just for students in the program to connect with each other. And the academic advisor that you're assigned to can help you with figuring out when to take the classes that you need in the program and preparing for graduate school, etc. In fact, every fall and spring, we have a month-long graduate school prep workshop that is very popular amongst our students. Penn resources that you will have access to include the Writing Center and Tutoring Center, Weingarten Learning Resource Center, which includes wonderful resources to sort of help you prepare for exams, balance work and school and all those other things, student disability services, the 15 University of Pennsylvania libraries that include incredible online resources and research librarians that can help you with your research work. There's also a ton of research opportunities at Penn through the Center for Undergraduate Research and Fellowship. I do find that most of our students preparing for graduate programs that are PhDs are really excited about the research opportunities that our program has access to. Every day at Penn, there are speakers and events, and our students are enjoying those opportunities. And there are also a number of clubs and organizations that welcome our students. So let me describe what the student experience looks like in our program so you can get a sense of if this makes sense for you. So an active student in our program is taking anywhere from 1 to 4 classes a semester. Anything 3, 2, or 1 is a part-time study, and 4 courses is full-time study. Our pre-PhD students are often participating in research while they're taking classes. They're attending talks that are offered by the department, rubbing elbows with the faculty, graduate students, and undergraduate students in that department. Not only are they working with their academic advisor through the post-bac program, but they're also working with the faculty that they're taking classes with at Penn or doing research under to get sort of industry-specific guidance on their goals. Post-bac students are in classes with other post-baccalaureate students, but they're also in classes with traditional undergraduates. They are in classes with graduate students on occasion. So you'll see a wide variety of students in your classroom. Another question that I often receive is like, how long is the program? How long will I be here? And the answer really depends on what you need. So if you only need to take 2 classes and can do it in a single semester, then you'll be here for a semester. But some students are here, part-time 2 years, depending on how many classes they need to take. So the answer is really, what do you need? And that will determine how long you're in the program. As long as you take at least 1 course a year, you will remain enrolled in the program. So it's pretty easy to stay active. Also, I'm often I'm asked what students are studying, what are the popular fields of study, and so I have collected that here. These are probably the most popular fields of study amongst our students, but I will say that if you don't see the field that you're interested in on this list, it does not mean it's not available. These are just particularly popular ones. And I mentioned Penn LPS Online, and I want to chat about that a little bit more. There's 2 things that I hear a lot about from students. One is an interest in online classes that work well for working professionals. And the second is the option of a certificate. And all of the options on the right, all of those names on the right, are certificates that are available in the program through Penn LPS Online. These certificates can be completed in a year on a part-time basis. They are a fantastic addition to the coursework that you are taking on campus. Next, I want to talk a little bit about tuition, fees, and the application. All right, so tuition and fees, unlike perhaps your undergraduate or graduate studies, are only paid based on registration. And there's basically 3 different tiers in terms of the tuition and fees based on which class you're taking. So if the class is offered by the College of Liberal and Professional Studies, you'll see the tuition and fees listed there. Penn LPS Online classes, which are all the way on the right that we just covered, those certificates have the lowest tuition and fees. And then in the center is all the additional classes. So the daytime classes, the on-campus classes, etc. Those are classes outside of LPS. and you'll see the tuition and fees there. The university bills based on a course unit system, which is a little different from other schools. One course unit is equal to 4 credit hours, and the tuition and fees listed here are for 1 course unit. So there are different ways that students pay for their studies in the program. It's definitely important to mention that because this is a non-degree program, scholarship and financial aid are not available. So students pay 2 primary ways. The first is the university offers payment plans in the fall and spring that break down the tuition and fees for whatever classes you register for into 4 or 5 payments. Those are very popular. And also popular are tuition benefits or reimbursement through an employer. We do have a number of students that are using that. So let me talk to you a little bit about the application. We are currently accepting applications for spring 2024 and summer 2024. And our application is rolling admission. So for example, if you were to submit an application this evening for the program, you would receive a decision in about 2 weeks, and you would be able to register for spring classes pretty much soon after. So we recommend not waiting. You certainly can wait until the deadline, but the sooner you apply, the earlier you can register and the higher likelihood of getting into the class that you want to take. We need 3 items with your application. Not tremendously cumbersome. I'm going to put the application information in here, the chat. We need your resume. There are 2 essay questions. They're not very long. And then lastly, your transcripts from your previous institutions. That's how what we need in order to review your application. From a candidate, we're looking from their previous coursework of at least a 3.0 GPA. And we also are paying close attention to your resume, which shows your experience, and your essay questions. We want to make sure that this program can meet the needs that you have as a student. So that is what I wanted to share about the Post-Baccalaureate Studies program. And now I would love to open up the Q&A. Any questions that you have, Akila has kindly offered to manage the Q&A, and I will stop sharing so that you can see us a little bit closer. And yes, please.